How do you know when you're ready to get married? That's the $1,000,000 questions that everybody's been asking. So on today's podcast, Sissy and I, we're going to talk about some of the things you can look at, in yourself, so you can tell if you're ready. Stay tuned.
Hey, Bristol friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my other host, Babe. What's up?
This is Will, and welcome to another episode of the Blissology podcast. If it's your first time joining us, this is a weekly podcast where we talk about
love, life, relationships, what else? Family,
stuff,
politics sometimes.
This month, it's all about
Black love.
what she said.
That's right. So welcome. Yes, babe. So what's your blissful moment this week?
Well, that wasn't a blissful moment, but due to a misunderstanding, I waited like 20 minutes for curbside pickup. I realized that I chose walk-in pickup, I think.
I don't know.
So I learned.
I've never heard of such a thing. Walking pickup. Oh yeah, that's right. Because it'll open the lobby.
Yeah, the lobby's not open, and obviously you have to. And I ordered the thing to the app, and obviously we're talking blissful moments, but I was a little bit.
I know.
I was a little bit irritated, and I realized that
I feel like this is like a feeling moment. Something kind of like tickle your feeling a little bit.
It's important to pay attention to details. I think that's what made me realize. I've ordered a number of, it was at a restaurant. I've ordered a number of times through a number of different restaurants app, and it's always been, if I ordered, I go and parked in the curbside pickup, and someone will come and check with me. But at this particular restaurant, they had curbside pickup or they had walk-up pickup.
Walk up.
And obviously it wasn't their app, but I didn't pay attention to it. So when I did walked up pickup, it was actually supposed to be curbside pickup.
Sounds right.
I know. And listen, I may be using the wrong term for the other pickup, but it's the part where I had to get out of the car and walk to the outside of the restaurant and open a door, grab the food, and come back to my car. So it's a completely different experience. And why do they offer two different? I don't know, but I guess people want
the thing
choices.
is, they used to have, when the lobby used to be open, they would have
I don't think they had that. I think this is a COVID thing.
Okay, well.
But I guess people wanted the choice. And I didn't think in this situation, when you order on the app in the future, choose curbside pickup. And when you get there, there's numbers on the parking spaces. And
wait. You've done curbside pickup so many times.
At different restaurant. This one has different choices to pick. Well, two choices to pick.
Well, let's just say we're talking about Chick-fil-A, guys. Okay? It just talk about Chick-fil-A. Yes.
So it helps me.
For those of you who may be going through this.
It's important to pay attention to details. Just because you've done something at other places and it kind of worked out the way you expected, when you're doing it at a new place, pay attention to details, which I didn't. So I wasted 20 minutes.
Yes, you did. And the thing is, too, what's so
but
funny
they were nice about it. They're always nice there.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, they're very nice. I love Chick-fil-A. Listen, what's funny about it is that my husband said, I'm going to call ahead. I'm going to order this ahead so that way when I get there, I grab my food and then I'm home.
They'll bring my food to me and I'll be done. That's what I was thinking.
So I don't have to wait in line.
Which it was ready,
But,
so I had to go walk up and pick it up.
My head hurts.
But the lesson I learned is read stuff. I'm talking about read it, because the instructions are there. If you just kind of scroll through and actually I got out of my office and I went in the parking lot, just sat in the car and quickly placed the order because it saved it on the cart, and I just hit pay. And it went, but I didn't pay attention to the choice.
So you waited.
So that cost me 20 minutes.
So you waited 20 minutes. It seems like it's the whole 20 minutes you were trying to avoid. And that's exactly what happened.
If I didn't order that way, I would have been done in like less than 10 minutes.
Because you said it went that
Because there were some cars that were going through the drive-thru and they had gone and left. And I'm like, did they forget about me or did they give the food to someone else?
Listen, this
But
is why you need to pay attention.
They were nice about it, and I got to give it to them. I mean, they always do whatever they can to
They
make
have
you feel.
great customer service. Let's just put it that way. Our blissful moment, although you waited, but then I got my salad, and it was really delicious, and I loved it. It was good. And you got my green tea, green drinks, whatever that is, from Starbucks. So absolutely. Listen, guys, it's very good to capture those moments. But yes, so let's talk about, we're still talking about love. It's still February, although this is the last week of February already. Oh my God, 28 days of February, the shortest month ever. We're still talking about love, and, it's still love. Although Valentine's Day was 2 weeks ago, but hey. But we are talking about, what are we talking about?
Being ready to get married.
So you think you're ready for marriage, girl?
Yeah, I love this girl, and I want to get married.
So you
That's
think
all it
you're
takes.
ready? So you think you're ready?
That's all it takes.
How do you
I'm
know
in love
that you're
with you,
ready?
and I want to marry you. Isn't that the thing?
But a lot of people, they feel like, oh man, I'm so ready to get married. I've been with this guy for a year, 2 years, or I've been with this girl for 2 years. But how do you know? One thing I don't like is when people feel like, man, my time is ticking. I'm getting old. I gotta get me someone, a man or a woman. But let me say this, baby. I don't think it's as hard for a man than it is for us women, because we feel like there's a certain age you have to get married, and we kind of like tend to feel like our clock is ticking, because the thing is, once you get married, you gotta have children and you gotta raise a family. But if you're like in your 40s, you're close to mid 30s and 40s, then you're gonna feel like you wasted so much time, and that you just gonna marry anybody, right?
Well, it depends on the person, because some people, they have no intentions of getting married at all. And for some people, that's probably the best thing they could do, because they just don't have it in them
Yes.
to commit. Because marriage is a lifetime commitment, and I don't think it should be taken lightly. So, yes, it takes some thinking. It takes some soul searching.
Yes.
It takes some digging. but yes, it does, because
Yes.
I think for all of us, it'll be the biggest and the longest decisions.
Yes.
Well, some people, they quit after 2 years, so I can't say the longest. But for many of us, the majority of us, that'll be the biggest and the longest decision, because a marriage is a lifetime decision.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a big commitment. It's a huge commitment. And although I feel like sometimes it's some people, they feel like they gotta, I need to move in with this person. We need to live,
Well, you can live together and not get married, because and some people have done that until they die. They just live together, because marriage, once you take that step, marriage, it bonds you on a number of different levels.
Yes.
You're committed to something, and some people, they just can't commit long term.
They really can't.
They want to leave that door open. If one day you showed up and you're looking crazy, they pack their bags and they're gone.
I feel like my favorite moment is like when you get engaged to your fiance, and you get engaged.
Your spouse to be.
You like have these experiences, but sometimes some people pop the question still early. Like, you don't know me well enough for you to pop the question. What made you think that I'm the one?
Well, they may think that you're the one. You may not think that they're the one, and that's where you have your choice.
Well,
You can either say yes or no.
But then when you say no, you feel like you missing out. This could be like a potential, and you said no, and then you're like, man, I should have said yes.
Well,
but I wasn't ready. You
could choose the third option. I think, let's think about it.
But let's think about it. That's like
you could say not today.
But when you think about it, though, when you say that to a guy, let's think about it. You actually kill their ego. No. You basically just say, I don't think you're the one for me. Let's just,
But this is what makes this so. It's a huge step. for both individuals involved.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And obviously it's not something to be taken lightly. No, don't pop the question after a few months of dating. Now, if you clicked and this is what both of you want, then yes. However, if it's just you and you're just doing it to keep that person, then you're probably doing the wrong thing. So it's important to look at it for what it is. It's a big decision.
It is.
It's a big decision.
And maturity has to occur. Like, if you're not mature enough, like, what are we doing? You know, you may think just because you're 25 and you've been with this guy for 10 years plus, but yet you're not mature enough to really take care of family, because it's a huge decision, guys. Just because you've been with someone for X amount of years,
doesn't mean you have to marry them.
Doesn't mean that you're ready. Especially for us, we were mature enough. I could say we were very mature. Like, I was at my parents' house. He was at his parents' house. You know, we were dating each other for 5 years before we really, you know, tied a knot, basically. And maturity has to be where, are you mature enough to take care of our finances? Are you mature enough for you to make a big decisions? Because it's not just about partying, you know, you get engaged, you know, you do the wedding, the celebration. You show off. Man, nowadays, I feel like marriage is just like...
Well, it's a huge party. It's a wedding.
It's a wedding, right? It's a wedding where we both come together before God and we decided to, you know...
And then we throw a big party.
No. Some people just do it because they want to have their friends. Is, oh my God, this was the wedding of the year. But then the wedding of the year has to really have a strong foundation, right? Like, you marry this guy.
Or this girl.
And you have some people, man, they go all out on weddings.
Well, you know, it's a celebration. And, you know, sometimes the wedding. Yes. Is about the parents.
Yes.
And sometimes they go out. Now, that's not me saying that don't have, if that's what you desire, have a big party. Invite all your friends. You know, people will come, they'll eat your food, they'll dance your music.
We had a big wedding.
And they'll leave. But
we had 100
maybe we did.
We had 100 plus people at the wedding.
Yes. If I were to do it again, I wouldn't.
I know you told me that all the time.
But you know, if that's
I don't blame you.
If that's what you desire, have a big party. But understand that this commitment is a lifetime commitment. And you were saying earlier, you have to be mature enough to understand what it means to be in a relationship with someone. Because being in a relationship is one, planning together is something else. Now, I'm talking about all types of planning, raising a family, future planning where you see yourself being in the future with this person. Right. Where you planning on living. Right. Have you bought a house yet? Or are you planning on buying a house? Where are you in your career? All these things are important. And before you even get to the point where you're going to commit that you are going to get married, some of the things you need to start with is, are you able to have those awkward conversation with that person? And one of the things that's the most walked away from conversation is money conversation. Oof. Can you have this conversation with this person that you're looking to commit your life to? Go
ahead. Well, I was gonna say, go ahead, clear your throat. Drink some water. Well, what I was gonna say, see, this is marriage, you know. What I was gonna say, just what he just said, you know, about money, you know, when your spouse or your soon-to-be wife is coming in with 5 or 6 credit cards worth of $50,000 with
they owe no money,
you know, or
oh, they maxed that?
Listen, that happens. You need to know, what do you bring on, you know, what your financial situation is. How much money do you have in your account? Like, how well do you handle pressure when it comes to money? Like, all these things are important. Yes, we're going to work through it, right? after marriage, we work through it. But in the meantime, all these are questions you need to
Well, you need to be able to
have.
have that conversation. Yes.
Yes, like you said, it's very awkward, and it's money is very awkward. It
Yeah.
gets very uncomfortable.
It gets uncomfortable. Understanding where both of you are financially. First
Yes.
is, are you in a financial position to even get in a long-term relationship? If you're about to get sued, don't marry somebody.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, but, and one thing that's common for many of us, sometimes we met in college, and many of us finance our college education.
Yes.
So you understand what each one of us are bringing in
Right.
terms of college debts. Credit card
Yes.
debts are one of the worst debts to have, because if you don't manage, if you're not disciplined, they can really, 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 really
Right.
damage you.
Yeah.
But in any other things, the car that you're driving, is it a car that you shouldn't have bought? You didn't have the ability to buy it yet, or
Yes.
are you driving a car that's about to die, which means we need to buy another one? So all of
Yes,
these things,
yes.
they need to be conversation that you have. And if you can have this conversation with this person before getting married, that's even better. This way, hey, listen, I'm comfortable with this person, which means we can deal with money together.
Yes.
Because one thing that's going to happen when you get married, whether you're going to keep separate account or whatnot, you're going to have to find ways to handle your money together, because the household expenses, someone's got to handle them. And
it's usually the guy.
well, the guy handles them, but there's always some, because some of us are not lucky enough where one makes so much money that they handles everything, and the other one can just go and do whatever. So typically it's a dual household responsibilities
Right,
when it comes to
right.
expenses, savings, how are we going to do that? So all of these things, and those are very uncomfortable conversations to have.
They are. And you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest and find a way to communicate that.
Oh, you got to bring paperwork that shows the statements on all the invoices.
Listen,
and bills
he's a
and-
banker, so listen to him, okay?
So it's an important decision, a decision to commit to someone for the rest of your life. It's important. And
Yes.
finances play a big role in any relationship.
Yes, and I want to say that not every man are financially matured enough, right? Because some guys, they can't handle money, where the wife or the soon-to-be wife has to be the one responsible for managing
The budget.
the budget, right? Because some guys are, yes, they may be old enough to get married, but then they're not matured enough. They spend the money left and right. They can't really there's a saying that I don't remember how to say it, but there's a saying that said that you're not able to l'argent coule en amont. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, if they have money that comes today, later by the end of the day, the money is gone. So you gotta be able to say, you know what, babe, let me take care of the finances. Let me budgeting everything well, because it's gonna help both of us, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. Trust me, but you gotta be able to sit down with your soon-to-be spouse and said, these are the things. These are my student loans, and this is how much money I have in my savings account. Luckily for me, I had money saved thanks to my parents, who was able to help me save some money. My brother and I, we you as well, right, babe? But all these things is really important for you to say, this is what I have in my account. Because when it comes time for you to get married, you got to be able to put something on the table. You can't just let the man, the husband to be, just take care of everything. By all means, if he wants to take care of everything, great. You lucky, girl. But it's always good in the beginning to say, you know what, I put this much towards my wedding, and we both put something down together. And then that way it becomes our wedding versus he threw me a wedding party. So that's important.
Yes, and that's important. But I don't want anyone to think that, hey, you got to have tons of money to get married.
No.
What's important is
No.
that you understand what it means
Yes.
to commit with someone long term. But you understand the importance of finances in a decision like this.
Right.
Now, you could not have a whole lot of money, but you're very disciplined when it comes to money. Mm-hmm. And above all, you're very disciplined when it comes to having uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about money a great deal, but there's a number of other things that's important
Yes.
in getting married. Like, for instance, it's two different people coming together. You got to look at your habits. Are you able to accept to live with this person the way they are?
Especially if you never live with them.
Yes.
Him or her.
We all have our own little things that we do. and this is why it's so important to be able to have these open conversations about your likes, your dislikes, the things that throw you off the wall. So this person knows, this is who I'm getting into.
Yeah,
am I able to deal with this?
Yes.
Or am I gonna put the engagement ring
aside
on hold for a moment or sell it back
until you
or
work on your
something?
temper?
Yeah, well, there's a number of things. When you live with someone, there's tons of things that will happen. Mm-hmm. And having the maturity, and you mentioned maturity earlier, that's important because if you're mature enough, you would handle things differently. That doesn't mean you're not going to get upset. That doesn't mean you're not going to fight.
He got me upset earlier. But hey, we worked it out.
Things happen. That doesn't mean you're not going to fight, you're not going to get upset. But if you're mature enough, you'll have the ability to handle these situations.
Yes.
To be able to have a conversation with your spouse, find out what exactly is that happened and fix it.
Yeah.
As opposed to being a child, something happened before you know it, you want to leave, right?
Yes.
And some people are like that. So know that you're ready for something like this. Mm-hmm. To commit your life with someone. Be mature enough. Understand what it means to be in a relationship. Understand what it means to live with someone. Understand that it means to make decisions together.
Yes.
That's important. And I'd say if you're planning on getting married, try to start making decisions together. Like,
oh, yes.
We bought a house together before we even got married.
Yes.
Geez, good thing I married you.
Oh, good thing you did.
But yes, we made big decisions.
Big purchase.
I mean, obviously, we knew that we were going to, marry each other. We were comfortable enough to go into some very big decisions before we even walk into the church and said, we did.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, but build that comfort. Seek to understand this person. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm talking about really understand.
There's tons of deal breakers out there. You just don't know. Well, yes. There's like, we got to work on such and such before we get married, Yeah.
Imagine if you like to travel.
Right.
And I'm a stay-at-home person. I just want to stay in one city and one city alone. Actually, I don't even want to work in a different town. We're not going to work.
Yeah.
Because you want to see the world.
Right.
And I just want to stick around. Or you want to have 5 kids. Mm-hmm. I want no kids.
Right.
Or you want to live in the middle of town in the big city where there's tons of stuff. Me, I want to live in the country. Right? So these are the things that you gotta talk first, because there could be incompatibilities among the things we like. Mm-hmm. And you gotta be able to talk about them. And some of these things are deal breakers. Because someone don't want to have kids and you want to have tons of them, it's not gonna work.
It's not. No. I don't care how much you love this person. Like, if they're not willing to, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, I know relationships are about compromising, but there's certain things that some of us are not willing to compromise.
Yeah, there's some people that's not. They don't plan on having kids at all. They don't want to have kids, and that's just who they are.
Sometimes this is best for this person not to have kids.
Right, and then you coming along.
Don't you see how tough it is raising these 2 little girls?
Oh my God! Okay, baby, relax.
Earlier you were like,
oh my God! Listen.
Some people don't want to deal with that aggravation.
Sometimes I'm like, I need a vacation from home, okay? It's double the trouble. Listen, when it's like right now, you picturing this perfect wedding,
But marriage is not about the wedding. I know sometimes people mix it all about the wedding.
What I'm saying is you don't really see the long terms after you get married. You don't see the long terms. You think because we're dating and because we engage, this is how it's going to be. No. Once you move in with this person, all flaws come out, right? But you got to be able to be strong enough to take this. Because there's a lot of things I didn't know about him. There's a lot of things that, because you never really, lived together. And there's a lot of things that I had to really deal with and said, you know what? I didn't know about them.
That's where the maturity comes in. You understand that I am the best man there is.
Whatever.
And you had to deal with my issues.
Whatever. A lot of issues, okay? Not issues that I'm not able to handle. Some guys, their issues is like it's just unbearable. Like it's just, I don't even know the words. I don't even know what to say. It's hard. It goes the same way. Some ladies got mad issues too. Well, we all have our own issues. Yes.
The key is to kind of like have an idea of, am I willing to deal with? Am I mature enough?
Yes.
To deal with.
Right. Well, that's why sometimes people feel like, well, I'm just, we're not married, but we live together. Then what's the point of me putting a ring on it if you do the wife duties,
Well, you don't need to get married.
But that's not the point. And that's why my dad always said, when you're ready, the man will come to you and ask for permission. And then you move in together with that guy. Because you don't just move in with someone just because we're dating. Listen, this is your style. That's your style. But what I'm just saying is, it just don't look cute sometimes, because you want to make sure that you do, you do the right thing.
Right or wrong? Who knows? Society with labels and different things. Yes. So what's right? What's right is what seems right to you.
True.
Right? And yes, some people may think that I'm nuts, but we all have a definition of what it means to be right. If that's what's right for you,
yes,
live it. Yes, some people have gone the madly traditional ways like I did, and that worked for me.
Yeah, we did.
Some people think that I was nuts staying home until I was in my late 20s. That worked for me. If you want to move out and cohabit with someone at 18, if you've maturely thought it through, and this makes sense for you, by all means, do it.
And I want to say to these young girls, young couple out there, just because you're dating someone for 10 years or 5 years doesn't mean that person is ready to get married, right?
If you've been dating someone for 10 years,
well, you either dump them. You know how to say high school sweetheart, but then they've been in high school for since they were 15 or whatever, and they've been together for this long. But my point is just that just because you've been together for that long, people will put pressure on you and say, you know what, y'all been dating for so long, it's time for you to get married. But you gotta look deep down inside. Is it the right time? Like you and your partner talk through and said, you know what, are we really, really ready to get married? I know we've been dating for a while. I know we've been high school sweetheart for a while, but am I really mature enough? Am I really financially stable enough to take care of an additional person? Because you're technically going to take care of that person and then take care of the household, because that's a huge responsibility. And let alone you come and have kids afterwards, you got to do the housewife duties, right? You got to do all the things that comes with being married to someone. But my thing is, find it in yourself and ask yourself, am I ready to be a wife? Or am I going to continue just keep dating this person, although there's a future, but then this guy is not really financially stable?
So, but the bottom line is, when is it right to get married?
You know, your gut feeling will tell you.
Guts feeling will tell you, experience will tell you, and understanding the person that you're with
Yes.
will tell you. And the openness in what you discuss in terms of planning, you'll realize that this is someone that I either run away from or this is someone that I'm going to pop the question to.
Yeah.
And I know that falls a lot on the guy in terms of popping the question. That's why we have to be very, very strategic, because we have to be mature ourselves to know what it means to get into a relationship. And yeah, do the right thing.
We're not perfect. There's no such thing as perfect marriage. We're not perfect. We're just letting you know some of these flaws, some of these things that you should be expecting.
Yeah.
Right? Some of these signs that you should be looking out for.
Yes. Decide with your heart.
Does this man give me? Oh, sometimes
Make the
I'm
decision.
like,
Make the decision with your heart. Now, that just contradicts a lot of the things we talked about. Decide to love with this person with your heart. But when it comes to marrying, make sure that you do some thinking. Some thinking, some future planning. And think of all the big stuff. Because once you get married, you're going to have to do some big stuff.
Yes.
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 Kids. House. Work. Long hours.
Daycare.
Diapers.
And we're not scaring you off. We're just saying.
Mouths to feed. Laundry.
Oof.
Every day.
Every single day.
Right?
I'm the laundry lady here. Okay.
Yes. So all of these things.
Every day.
A garage that could never stay clean.
Oof. Pets.
Yes. You become the guinea pig changer, caretaker, and so all of these things comes in marrying. Having kids, you keep having to paint the walls in the house because they go around and write on stuff. You could be in the middle of a moment and then they want something. You got to drop it off. But all these things are things to think about.
Yeah.
If you're a really selfish person and you only think about yourself, then you don't need to marry anybody.
You don't.
You don't. But anyway, everybody, hey, listen,
we don't want to scare you off.
We've talked about a lot of stuff when it comes to get married.
Yes.
But marriage is beautiful. It's
beautiful.
It's
a wonderful thing.
It's one of the greatest things in life.
Yes. It's
if it's for you.
If it's for you, yes.
Yes. Because some of us are designed never to be married. And that's completely fine.
That's what they want.
What they were designed for.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Or sometimes what they think they were designed for.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today. I know we've talked about a whole lot of stuff. We appreciate having you today.
We talked about a whole lot of love this month. Yes, I just took the mic off from him. We talked about a whole lot of love because it's about love in this month. And it may be more next month too. Who knows? But yes, go ahead, baby.
So
take it away.
Thanks again for joining us. If it is your first time joining us today, please remember, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you can be notified when we pull out this.
Give us a thumbs up.
Videos. Give us a thumb or 2 thumbs up.
No,
the other one's right here.
One thumbs up.
I don't know. I get as many thumbs up as I can get. But we appreciate you and thank you for listening to us. And I'm hoping that we've shared some scary and not so scary stuff with you. But either way,
for you to think about.
We shared some stuff with you.
We do.
So
and our experiences. I know I keep cutting him off, but it is our experiences and things that you want to look out for.
And what just happens in marriage. Sometimes they just cut you off.
Listen. 15 years and plus, and we're still kicking it, okay?
Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. And YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIns. And we will see you next Saturday. Peace.
Bye.